So should you learn sheet music or tabs? Which is better? Well, we're going to look at 5 different ways in how they compare to each other, and then we'll look at which is best for you. Let's get to it. My name is Stephen. I am the co-founder of the Murphy School of Music here in Chester, and in this channel we have in-depth tutorials on everything to do with music. So if you're trying to learn an instrument, check out some of our other videos to help you learn quicker. Now today we're looking at sheet music versus tabs. Which is better? Let's look at 5 different ways and how they compare with one another, and then we can look at which is best for you. Number 1, how long does it take to learn? So let's look at tabs. Well, in fact, you need to know 3 things to learn tabs. If you know these 3 things, you can play. In other words, it's going to take you minutes in how to learn to read tabs so you can start playing songs straight away. If you want to learn more in how to read tabs, check out our video, which I'll link down below. But what about sheet music? Well, this is where sheet music falls down. It actually takes a really long time to read sheet music, to be able to understand where the notes are on the stave, where those notes relate to your guitar, what the note lengths are, what all these different symbols mean all around the music, above and below, the ledger lines. There's lots you need to know if you're going to learn how to read sheet music. So in terms of ease of playing and starting out, it's 1 point to tabs. Area number 2. What about note lengths? Well, if we look at tabs again, the tabs don't tell us how long to hold each note. They're just where to place your fingers. Sheet music, on the other hand, tells us exactly how long each individual note should last for. Well, what does that mean? It means that you could have never heard this piece of music before, but you'll be able to play it perfectly. Whereas with tabs, to know how long each note should last for, you've got to listen to the song. Compare the tabs against the music track so you can hear how long each note should last for. You're using your ears to determine the note length. So we do get more information on the sheet music to tell us how long the note should last. Check out this piece of music now. Here it is playing tabs where we don't get the note length. Now here's that same piece of music again, but this time we're reading it from sheet music. Can you hear how completely different these 2 versions sound? So sheet music will tell us a lot more if we've never heard this piece of music before, or if we really want to get our timing spot on to make sure every note is as long as it should be. That's 1 point to sheet music. Right, point number 3, accessibility. How accessible is it, or how easy is it to get hold of tabs, and how easy is it to get hold of sheet music? Well, there are many websites out there doing both tabs and sheet music, so it is accessible. However, generally the websites that are doing the tab music or tablature, they're free. You can get as many songs as you want. You can get any song, pretty much any song in the world. You can find it in tabs for free and start playing it straight away. It's so easy to find the music to songs so you can start playing it yourself. That being said, generally it's the people who use the websites that are uploading these versions of the tabs. So they're not always 100% accurate. You do need to read through them and play through them to find out the accuracy. And you might find some notes aren't what are actually in the music. So if you compare a few of them, you then get the full picture and the correct tabs. What about sheet music? Well, sheet music, it's generally quite hard to find free sheet music. You can find generally the first page of a piece of music for free as an image in Google, but we really want the whole song if we're going to learn it, and we're generally looking at paying for it then. We can either buy it as a one-off or we can subscribe, but these websites generally are more accurate, but with downfall is you are going to have to pay for them, so it is going to cost you more. I suppose it depends on what you're learning the song for. If you're learning to play it in your bedroom or with your mates, get the tabs. They're free, they're easy to start off straight away. If you're doing a performance, perhaps at school, perhaps as a professional musician, you're doing a performance in a theatre or a live music venue, maybe you want something a bit more accurate then. Perhaps look at paying for the sheet music. That's 2 to tabs. Let's look at some of the information that the tabs give you and some of the information that sheet music gives you. Well, let's just look at one little area. Let's look at slurs. Now on the guitar, we have different ways of doing slurs. We have hammer-ons and pull-offs, we have slides, we have bends. All these things are different types of slurs. If you want to learn more, we have some videos on slurs. Check out the links down below to see those videos. Again, let's start with tabs. So tabs, they don't really tell us slurs. There are websites out there, they'll put different letters, H or P for hammer on and pull off, maybe a diagonal line for slides. The problem is there's no standard in tabs. So that means people write it the way they think it should be written. You'll see the same thing written many different ways. So it can be confusing, especially when starting out. You want to know what one thing means and how you should play it. In that sense, tabs can fall down a little bit. They're not giving you exactly what you should do. What about sheet music? Well, sheet music does have a standard. You'll see the same symbols throughout sheet music. For a slur, we can see this little arch. This arch means you're going to slur one note into another note, or perhaps several notes. As we said, there are different ways you can do that on guitar, and you would use your own stylistic playing to choose which one to do, or again, perhaps by listening to the music, you can hear how it should be. That's two to music. Final point, let's look at another piece of information that music should give us. Dynamics. What are dynamics? Dynamics are essentially volume in your playing. Let's start with tabs again. Do tabs tell us whether we should be playing something loud or whether we should play something soft, or whether we're building to a crescendo or whether we're coming down to a diminuendo? No, they don't. Again, you may find someone who will use the symbols from sheet music to put them onto tabs to tell you to do this. However, generally you don't see these on tabs. Again, there's no standard in tabs, so they don't tell you these things. Sheet music, on the other hand, it tells you every detail you need to know. If you're going to build that sound to a crescendo, it's going to tell you. If you'd be playing loud or holding back and playing soft, it's going to tell you. It's going to tell you how it should be played, so that again, if you've never heard the piece, you'll be able to play it through smoothly and it will sound great. That's 3 to sheet music, 2 to tabs. So therefore, sheet music is the best, isn't it? Well, maybe it is. And yes, it tells you a lot more. I'm certainly a fan of sheet music over tabs. However, is it the right thing for you? Well, if you're looking to learn long-term, improve your skills, play in venues around your area, maybe travel and tour, then maybe sheet music is for you. It's certainly a long-term investment. You're going to have to put that effort in if you want to know how to read it properly. But it's certainly worthwhile. If you want to be respected as a musician, if you're turning up to a rehearsal session with new musicians, or musicians you've never played with before, you want to look respectable, you should have sheet music in front of you, not tabs. But what if you're not looking to be professional? Perhaps you just want to play yourself to enjoy or de-stress at the end of a hard day of work. Perhaps you just want to play with your mates. Perhaps you're just starting with your guitar career. Learn tabs. They're so accessible. Plus, you can literally learn how to read tabs in minutes. And then you can learn your first riff and then your first song. Something a lot of my students struggle with when they first start is the motivation to play. You start with all this enthusiasm, but if you don't learn to play something slightly recognizable within a reasonable amount of time, you're going to give up. You're not going to enjoy it. You need to balance the motivation, the technical, skillful, academic side of music. Yes, you want to learn these things, but you also need to keep it enjoyable. Music should be fun and enjoyable, not a chore all the time. And as you start to progress in your skill, you'll start challenging yourself more. You don't want to give up straight away. So give yourself a fighting chance. Start playing some fun things straight away. Then start playing the harder stuff and the more technical stuff. You can always progress on to sheet music once you've learned tabs. And tabs are so easy to learn, you might as well learn them. So should you learn tabs or should you learn sheet music? Which is better? Depends where you are in your career. Start with tabs, then get onto the good stuff. We hope this video has helped you learn something today. If so, please do hit the subscribe button so you know when we post more tutorials to help you learn the guitar and other aspects of music. If you'd like some more guidance, you can get lessons from us online or in person. Just click the link below to our website to find out more about that. Keep up the practice and we'll see you soon.